Alrighty tighty white, it's time for one of my critically acclaimed trailer reaction videos for Days Gone, that other PlayStation game. I think that's a fair way of describing it. There's God of War everyone gets excited about, Horizon Zero Dawn got a lot of attention when it came out in its year, and there's that other one. So this is Days Gone. It's a zombie open world game, and I've been curious about it. I'm into Ben Studios' work enough, but it does just look like a zombie game, and there's a lot of those. Obviously, I'm talking over the voiceover who's just nattering on. If you want to actually watch the trailer, go watch the trailer, and then come here. I'm trying to listen a little bit while I talk, but you're not here to listen to that jackass talk, presumably. See, varied, dangerous camps. Like, I'm looking at it, and it just looks like a zombie game. And that's all it looks like. There's nothing wowing me here. I'm not, like, dropped to jaw. The visuals are decent. The action looks like fairly standard open-world action fare. There's a little child zombie. That's a bit different. You don't often see kid zombies in games. Okay. I remember the first trailer they showed for this. It was, yeah, a bit closer to this. Like, massive armies. Almost Dynasty Warriors level armies of zombies. But then, you know, Dead Rising 3 did that, like, huge swarms. I mean, as did the other Dead Rising games to various degrees, but 3 was the one where they really made a big open world swamp of it. Yeah, I mean, the zombies themselves, they're just a bit melty looking. They're just like manky people. Which, you know, a lot of zombies do. But there are different designs you can have where they look all different and interesting. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying it'll be a bad game. I'm not even saying I'm not interested in checking it out. It's just struggling to get me excited. And that's a function, I think, of it occupying two incredibly over-occupied styles, should we say, or premises, themes, whatever. I didn't want to entirely say genre, but you got zombies, which have been done to undeath. We've seen so many zombies. And then you've got open world, which a lot of games I feel these days could stand to not be open world games. There's so many of them. People already have their time taken up by them. So I think some games could do with scaling their budgets back and offering more linear experiences. I think they'd perform better at market, rather than just trying to do what everyone else is doing because the market tells them that's what sells. It does sell, but not every single game can sell in that area. Yes, open world games are very popular, but there's only room at the top of the mountain for comparatively few compared to those hundreds and thousands at the bottom of that mountain. I'm actually planning on doing a more in-depth video on that concept soon. But for right now, I think that's the biggest failing of Days Gone. If it had come out years ago, like years though, more like closer to the beginning of this generation ago, because even before this gen, last gen, zombies were a bit, and open world games had been starting to get overdone. Not every game needs to be open fucking world. Certainly not every game needs zombies in it. And this might end up being an exceptional example of an open world zombie game. But even if it is, I feel like it might suffer a little. Unless it manages to surprise us with something else out the game. If it manages to surprise us with something else, if there's some other hidden talent, hidden depth to this, then maybe it'll turn heads. But right now, I don't feel like people are talking about it, anticipating it. When I compare it to the other Sony games we've seen, the other PlayStation exclusives, Spider-Man, the aforementioned God of War and Horizon, people talk about Uncharted, people talk about those games a lot before they come out. And there's, you know, what I would consider a silly amount of hype for them. when a Nintendo game comes out, we know it's coming out. People are buzzing about it. When a Microsoft game comes out, you know. So for this to come out and everything just still feels a little lukewarm. I mean, when exactly is it out? The trailer may have said, but I was too busy loving the sound of my own voice. Let's have a little look while I'm talking right now. Days Gone, April 26th this year. Not long to go. And I'm not seeing major consumer interest in it. And I'm not all that interested in it. I'm interested enough that I will buy it, and of course I'll do impressions for it. If I wasn't in the business of doing video coverage of games and giving them quasi-reviews, this might be something I'd be waiting on until I saw a cheaper price for it. Just because right now it doesn't look like it's remarkable. And I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I always would prefer to play a really good game than a really bad game. Sorry, my dog just decided to knock things over. You alright, Bartleby? He doesn't care about Days Gone, but he's a dog and knows nothing of video games or hype in any way. But yeah, that's Days Gone. I ended up sounding more down on it than I intended to, or even really feel. This might sound like I'm shitting all over it when I publish it, but that's really not how I feel. I just don't feel much of anything at all, and that's an issue. Especially since Sony's been on such a hot run lately, such a streak of critically acclaimed and very successful games. And maybe this will end up critically acclaimed and hugely successful. Maybe I'll love it. And as I said, I hope I do, because if I'm buying games, or at least devoting my time to them, I end up buying most of them, but sometimes Sony's nice to me. Either way, you know, I'd rather play a good game than a bad game. And it looks like it'll be fine. It does look like Days Gone will be fine, but whether it will be more than fine, well, that remains to be seen. Doesn't it now? Yes.